Hey college student, Dr. IJ here, your #1 college life coach. Thank you for tuning in for another episode on College Life on Fleek. On this episode, I really want to share with my first year students, my freshmen, first time college goers, I want to share some tips on how to start the academic year right. So I'm going to give you some steps, some tips, some actions on what to do so that you can start off with a great bang. Aren't you excited? The school year is almost here, but I know you are preparing a lot of stuff for your housing situation, for your classes, getting your books in check, all of those things. But apart from that, here are some steps that you need to consider to start off on the right foot. Number one, you need to make sure your financial aid is intact. Make sure everything is set up. You've talked to your parents, your mentors, you've called the financial aid advisors, you've followed up on your letters and notifications to know exactly what's going on with your financial aid. A lot of students don't even start college because their financial aid hasn't been set up when they had intended on starting in the fall. Make sure that is all ready and set to go. Tip number 2 is to make the right ethical choices right off the bat. As soon as you step foot on any surface at your college, make the right choices. It's really important for you to practice good habits early on. I know you may get really excited or want to do some of the things that your peers might be doing, but you have to remember to start off on the right foot to set yourself up for success. So do the right thing right off the bat. Number 3, upon starting college, a lot of students get really nervous and anxious and scared, and sometimes they go through thoughts about whether or not they belong in that space or whether or not they deserve to be in college. Well, I'm here to tell you now, you definitely deserve to be in that space. You got the acceptance letter, therefore you belong. You have merited the right to be in college, and never forget that. You're qualified, you're capable, and you will do great. As long as you care about doing great and you're motivated to do great, you will do just that. So never question yourself. I know these imposter feelings will surface as the school year gets closer and closer and you're getting ready to start, but just always remind yourself that you definitely belong in that space and you deserve to be there. Tip number 4 is to keep a journal of all of your successes and your hardships. In college, oh my gosh, you're going to go through so many new experiences, so many new emotions, and you're going to have to figure out how to navigate so many of these things. But a useful and conducive outlet for you to utilize is journaling. So buy yourself this big hefty notebook, or you can type and keep a private blog for yourself. But just know that it's really helpful to journal some of your lived experiences so that you're able to reflect or express yourself, and it serves as a really good outlet for you to relieve a lot of stress and to reflect on those things that you went through. Again, college is all about learning not just academic knowledge but life knowledge, and through the relationships that you're going to establish, you really will learn how to work well with others and how to understand people and things like that. So use your journal to write down those things, your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences, and begin to reflect. And I mean, you never know, once you keep a journal, you might decide to publish some of your lived experiences and become a wildly profitable author who is talking about their life in college. You just never know. Tip number 5 is to be true to yourself. Never pretend to be like someone else. Never pretend or put on this facade that you are some kind of individual that you think is cool. Be your authentic self right off the bat. Be true and genuine to yourself. Because if you're not true to yourself and you portray yourself as someone else, then you're going to attract the wrong kind of people. You're going to attract the type of people that you'll always have to put a face on for, and you don't want to do that. You want to be your authentic self because that leads to greater freedom. And wouldn't you want to be free in college? When you're your authentic self, you will attract the right kind of people that are fitting to your needs and your interests. So be yourself. Tip number 6 is to try not to give in to peer pressure. I know that you are going to want to make as many friends as possible or be cool with as many people as you can, but don't give into bad peer pressure. You might find yourself going out late at night to engage in some activities, and if you know that it's not the right thing to do, make sure you flee from that situation or you politely decline from participating in those activities, but do not give in to peer pressure. I mean, you've been through that in high school, so let those days be gone. Know that college, you're about more serious business and you want to really set yourself up for success. So flee from those bad influences and don't fall for peer pressure. And let's say you're in a situation and you didn't even do anything, but because you are associated with those individuals and you are with them during that time, you become guilty by association, and you wouldn't want to jeopardize your integrity, your values. You wouldn't want to jeopardize your reputation for people who aren't leading you down the right path. Tip number 7 is to flee from bad influences and toxic people. I touched upon this a little bit when I spoke about not falling too much for peer pressure. So just know that if there are bad influences in college or illegal substances that you know that you're not supposed to be tapping into. I know college is all about experimentation, but you already know those things are bad for you. So why would you want to put yourself in situations where you're exposed to bad substances or bad people? Just avoid that. It's not worth it. Tip number 8. Don't party too much. You definitely can party in college, of course. You're going to want to party. I'm not going to take that away from you, of course. That's what you do in college. But no, not to party too much right off the bat. You want to preserve your energy and your focus on the first days of school. You want to make sure you have the health and the well-being to go to class on time, to take care of yourself enough so that you'll be prepared for that first week of school. So you don't want to exert all of your energy partying and wasting your valuable energy on partying and getting drunk. So don't party too much. Try to balance that out. Here's tip number 9. Take roommate contracts seriously. So if you plan on living with a roommate on or off campus, you're definitely going to have a meeting. If you live on campus, your RA, which is your resident assistant, will facilitate a meeting where you come up with an agreement on how you're going to live together. Oftentimes, first-year students aren't really familiar with this kind of thing. They say, well, as long as you're nice and I'm nice, we can get along, but they don't know that if you don't set expectations right off the bat, you're going to be kind of disturbed later. So it's really important to really name some of the expectations you have for one another in the living space and take that roommate agreement seriously. Now, you might not be mindful of the kind of expectations you want to hold within that space, so make sure you revisit that with your roommate, but take it seriously, because you're going to have issues later and you're going to realize that that roommate contract would have been really helpful if you had laid out some expectations or come to an agreement on certain living behaviors. And last but not least, tip number 10 is to ask for help. College can be very difficult to navigate a lot of the things that you have to do. So there are people who are paid on campus, professionals and peers, who are positioned to provide you with support. You have already paid for it with your tuition dollars, so you might as well make good use of your human resources on campus. If you need help navigating classes, knowing where to go on campus, knowing how to work with a roommate, whatever the case may be, you have resident assistants, you have peer advisors, you have advisors on campus. You could even speak with your professors about class-related things. Just make sure you communicate to someone else when you have an issue, because there are people in place to help you and you shouldn't have to do life alone. So overall, keep these 10 tips in mind as you start college off, and I believe that you will be a total success if you keep these actions in mind and put them to practice. So, do you have other tips that you want to share about how to start college off with a bang? Make sure you drop your comments below, and don't forget to subscribe before leaving. Make sure you check out more videos on College Life on Fleek. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.